The war that erased a nation. The destruction of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. In the late 18th century, a great nation vanished. Not conquered in a single decisive war, not wiped out by plague or famine, but slowly, methodically erased. For over 200 years, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had stood as one of Europe's largest states, a union of two proud peoples stretching from the Baltic to the Black Sea, a kingdom of scholars, soldiers, poets, and kings. And yet, by 1795, it was gone. Its borders swallowed by its neighbors, its flag forbidden, its name erased from the maps of Europe. This is the story of how a nation died and how its ghost refused to stay buried. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was born from hope. In 1569, two nations, Poland and Lithuania, bound themselves together, not by conquest, but by choice. They called it the Union of Lublin, a revolutionary idea in an age of absolute monarchs. Here, the king was elected, the nobles had rights, and the parliament, the same, could block the ruler's decrees with a single word, liberum veto. Freedom, a radical concept centuries before democracy became fashionable. But freedom can be fragile, and as Europe marched toward modernity, the Commonwealth remained bound by its ideals, noble but unyielding. The same liberty that had made it great would one day be used to tear it apart. By the 18th century, its golden age had faded. The once mighty armies were outmatched, the treasury was empty, and the political system that prized freedom above all had turned to paralysis. In theory, every noble had a voice. In practice, it meant that any noble, bribed or blackmailed by a foreign power, could silence the entire state. And foreign powers were watching closely. To the west, Prussia. To the east, Russia. To the south, Austria. Three hungry empires circling a wounded republic. Catherine the Great of Russia called it the sick man of the north. And when the first partitions began in 1772, she did not call it conquest, she called it correction. The first partition carved away a third of the Commonwealth's territory, but it wasn't just land that was lost, it was confidence. Some nobles clung to the idea that compromise could save them. Others dreamed of reform. In 1791, a miracle happened. The May 3rd Constitution, Europe's first modern constitution, was signed in Warsaw. It promised equality before the law, an end to serfdom, a stronger government that could finally defend itself. It was a document born of courage and desperation, a declaration that Poland would not die quietly. But empires fear ideas more than armies, and Russia moved swiftly. Under the pretense of restoring order, Catherine invaded. The reformers fled or were hanged. The king was forced to submit. And once again, the map of Europe shifted, this time with Poland drawn a little smaller. By the time of the third partition in 1795, there was almost nothing left to divide. Prussia, Russia, and Austria met in secret, signing papers that sealed a nation's fate. No declaration of war, no treaty of peace, just ink and silence. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth ceased to exist. 1,000 years of identity gone overnight. But the people did not vanish. They sang songs they weren't allowed to sing. They whispered their history in secret. They told their children that Poland lived in the heart, if not on the map. And in exile, Polish generals like Tadeusz Kościuszko carried their struggle across the world, from Warsaw's fields to the battlefields of the American Revolution. They fought not for territory, but for an idea that a nation's spirit cannot be partitioned. For 123 years, Poland existed only in memory. 3 generations born under foreign rule, forbidden to speak their language or fly their flag. But history, like a river, finds its way home. In 1918, as the First World War ended, Poland rose again from the ruins of empires that had once buried it. The ghost of the Commonwealth became a living nation once more, bloodied but unbroken. And when war came again, when Hitler and Stalin sought to erase it a second time, the same question echoed through the centuries. How do you kill a nation that refuses to die? The destruction of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is more than a story of lost battles or corrupt politics. It's a warning about the cost of freedom and the danger of forgetting what binds us together. It reminds us that nations are not just lines on a map. They are people, fragile, hopeful, defiant, who carry their history in their hearts. Poland was erased from the map, but not from memory. And sometimes, memory is enough to keep a nation alive, waiting for the moment it can return. Because even when the world forgets your name, history remembers.